We went to Khao Sok and Koh Phi Phi in Thailand, two fantastic destinations. We tell you all about them and which one you would choose, or which one you should choose if you only can choose one. Stay tuned. We're Chris and Steve, an early retired couple who sold everything to travel the world full time. We share our nomad life, hikes, and vegan eats. Grab our book, 2 Carry-Ons and a Plan on Amazon, and follow us on social. Subscribe to catch our video every Sunday. Where are we?
We are in Ton Sai, which is a town on Koh Phi Phi Dan Island off the coast of Thailand. It is beautiful here. It is nice and warm. Last week we were in Khao Sok, enjoying some beautiful weather there as well. And it's really exciting to tell you about both of these places, and you can decide for yourself which one you think is for you, or maybe you can do both of them like we have.
Right, so what we're going to do is talk about one, and then we'll talk about the other, the pros and cons of each, or the similarities and the differences, and then help you decide if you could only choose one, which one you might choose. So the first place we went was Khao Sok. We were in Bangkok, and we flew to Surat Thani. From there, we took a bus, or actually, we had the option to take minibuses to the town of Khao Sok to get to our accommodation. But instead, what did we do?
We took a private car because that's the way we jam. No, this is actually a little bit extravagant for us, but there's really only a few dollars more to have somebody meet us at the airport and take us about an hour or more drive into to the lake to get to our accommodations.
Right, so it was about, we'll tell you all the cost in just a minute, but it was only maybe 300 or 400 baht more than actually taking the bus for the two of us, so a private car just made sense. So we took that private car to the town of Khao Sok, which is just outside of Khao Sok National Park.
Anyways, we stayed in the domes, but we had a nice private bathroom, and it was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then the next morning we had some breakfast, and they put us in another minivan, and we drove out to the pier for Khao Sok National Park. And then we got in a longboat and did another hour and a half or so along the lake to get to the Smiley Lake House. Now, do you know the history of the Khao Sok National Park?
Well, I know a little bit of the history in that probably about 30 years ago, it wasn't underwater, and they decided to build a series of dams and really flooded the entire area to create the lake. But it was a part of a very, very long process of preserving this area as a natural wildlife and as a national park. So a lot of history there.
And they relocated all the villages before they flooded the area. So
Absolutely.
I guess there's something to be said for that. So anyway, so we took the boat ride out and just watched an amazing landscape and waterscape come out in front of us. Beautiful mountains, beautiful water, jaw-dropping, God-stopping beauty everywhere.
Yeah, it was we were able to take a number of boat rides on the 2 nights that we were there, but the ride out just out to the lakes, to the lake house, was just amazing. And it was just so beautiful and so picturesque.
So then we got to the lake house, and the reason why we chose this place is because they're floating bungalows on the water. I mean, how many times have you seen all those pictures of water bungalows, floating over beautiful water? This was it. So we picked one of these places. We got our room. By the way, here's a tip. If you go, you should pick room C10 or D10 if you get the chance to pick your room or request it.
The newest rooms, and they're on the end, so you won't have anybody on one side of you and on the other side of you. You can just jump into the water.
Right.
It's incredible. And this is a national park, so there is no building that can be done on the land itself. So everything that you see that's part of civilization, if you will, is on the water. And
right.
So the entire place we were, the area where we ate, our rooms, the kitchen, everything is floating on a dock.
Right, so we got to our room. The first thing we did was we jumped in the water. Right from our room, you could just jump right in. So then we kind of settled into a schedule. So we were there for 2 nights, and the schedule was such that in the afternoon you chilled out, you got in the kayaks, which were readily available and free, along with the life jackets. And then at 5 o'clock we went for an afternoon sunset cruise in one of the boats, saw the sunset, and went animal spotting, saw some monkeys and some bison and just other jungle animals that we've seen in Thailand. And then had a dinner, and then the evening just played some cards and chilled out, just socialized with the locals. I mean, how would you describe the population that was there?
Yeah, so we were actually one of the older ones that were there, and that's one of the similarities between Phi Phi Island and going to Khao Sok National Park is that it's a lot of young people, so a lot of 20-somethings that are there that are enjoying this. They're on kind of backpackers, spring breakers kind of thing, really enjoying their time as young people do.
But I think the evening crowd out at the lake was just a chill crowd. They were playing cards and just chit-chatting.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big party scene.
Yeah,
Per se.
not a party scene at all. It was really low key. It was very meditative. The night sky was incredible because there's no lights anywhere. Like I said, there's no buildings around. You just look up and just see the beautiful stars above you.
And then in the morning, bright and early, we got up and did a morning cruise to watch the sunrise. And then at about 10 o'clock, I think, we had breakfast. And then at 10 o'clock, Steve's going to tell you about his cave trek because I didn't go.
Yeah, so the great cave trekking was just a blast. So again, we all got in boats, and we went about 20 minutes up the lake into one of the passes, one of the inlets. Got out, we hiked for about 30 minutes, and then we got to the entrance of the cave because there was just amazing things in this cave. It started out really big and really wide and really high ceilings where you could see the bats and
stalagmites and the stalactites.
Exactly, and it's a river cave, which means you're going in and out of the water. And at first, you're only maybe about ankle deep as you go in and out, and then it kind of gets deeper and deeper and narrower and narrower. And the really exciting parts were 2 or 3 times when you had to kind of jump down off a rock into some deep water that was about up to here that you had to kind of wade through to a few meters to get out to the other side and climb up out of the rocks and out of the water. It was a blast.
And the spiders and the bats along with the scene.
Incredible spiders. I loved them. And bats. We didn't see any snakes. I don't know why.
But while he was on the cave tour, I actually enjoyed my quiet time, which you may not be appreciating the quiet time right now with the longboats passing by, but I enjoyed quiet, and it was as quiet as I could be. There was me and maybe a couple of the staff who were cleaning the rooms. I got on a kayak and just enjoyed a couple hours on a calm, smooth water and the kayak and listened to the monkeys talking to each other. So it was just really, really fantastic. Really enjoyed my quiet time. I really needed that. So then you all came back for lunch, and then we had another afternoon of kayaking, and then again at 5 o'clock we went for the sunset cruise, and then dinner at 6 or 6:30 or something, and then another night of just playing cards and chilling out. Yeah. So rinse and repeat. Most people only stay one night. We actually stayed 2 nights. Then on the 3rd day, they picked us up again and drove us back to Khao Sok, and we stayed in the Smiley bungalows instead of the domes, and just another different experience. And finished up our day with our Khao Sok package. So all in, it was 6,000 baht, which is about $250 or something, right? About $250. That was all in. So that was all meals, all transportation, we had to pay park fees of 200. Was it 200 baht a person?
Yeah. So they're converting that's about $10.
Yeah. So we each had to pay park fees for entry fees, but other than the park fees, everything was all in. So all our meals, all of our water, tea, coffee, drinks, desserts, and so on, and all that transportation from when they picked us up at when we got to Khao Sok, and then from Khao Sok, all that transportation from Khao Sok to the pier, to the boathouse, and all that stuff was all included.
Yeah. I've never been any place like it. I can't wait to go back.
So then when we left, so then it was time to leave. So we left Khao Sok, we took a bus down to Krabi. You can also fly into Krabi. And from Krabi, we took a ferry out to Koh Phi. It's spelled Phiphi. A lot of people say Phi Phi. It's actually Phi Phi. So in Koh Phi Phi, we took the ferry, we got off, we wheelied our lightweight carry-on bags to our resort. Resort's a fancy word for where we stayed. This is the kitchen behind us for the dining room. At the Phi Phi Rimley Resort is where we stayed. It includes breakfast. And we were actually here. We're actually here about 11 days, and we're 5 or 6 days into it. So we've got a couple things we still haven't done yet, but we think we've got enough information to be able to share with you what Koh Phi Phi is like.
Yeah. Well, why don't you tell them why we came to this island in the first place?
So the reason why we looked at a lot of the Thai islands and really Koh Samui, all the different ones, and what our number one criteria was, we wanted to be able to snorkel right off the beach. We didn't want to have to pay a longboat to go somewhere and snorkel with 50 of our closest friends. We wanted to have our own snorkeling experience at our own time, just be able to walk right off the beach and snorkel. And we absolutely have found that in a couple places here on Koh Phi Phi.
Yeah.
So you want to tell them about
Yeah,
Long Beach?
amazing snorkeling to Long Beach. So Long Beach took about 20 minutes to walk to. There's a couple of weird twists and turns on the trail.
There's
It's straight down.
rope that you have to go down.
But anyways, young people like us, it's an easy trail. But most of it is just on a sidewalk right along the beach. That's just really easy to walk to. But Long Beach is fantastic. It is incredible. It's beautiful white sand, and just walking out into the water, and within 20 feet off the beach, you've got
Not
snorkeling
even that
there,
far, yeah.
and you're seeing some amazing fish, amazing coral, just beautiful wildlife. I wish we had some underwater cameras. But we didn't. Maybe we'll put a list of all the different fish that we saw that were in the water, that were right there off the beach. Just beautiful.
And we walked out to Long Beach, and we snorkeled in a couple places on Long Beach, and then we also found that there was an additional area just off of Long Beach called Shark Point, which we're going to hit tomorrow.
We're going to go back there. Yeah.
But it's also swimmable from the beach, as long as you have a life jacket. I think that's it, because it's a little further out, and you want to have a life jacket when you do that. Anyway, and then we also were able to rent some kayaks, really easy. We got up in the morning, got in kayaks about 9:30, 10 o'clock. It was 800 baht for a 90-minute kayak ride, so that's like not 800 baht,
Yeah.
250 baht,
Yeah.
like $7.
$7 for snorkel gear, life jackets, kayak for 2 hours. Can't beat that. Again, in one of the most spectacular, beautiful places that I have ever seen in my life, and we took us about 20 minutes to kayak around the point to Monkey Beach. We didn't see any monkeys, but supposedly there are monkeys there. And you also have to make sure that you get there at the right time, because when the tide is coming in, you can't actually get on the beach. The beach is covered with water. But we were there at pretty close to low tide, and the beach was fantastic. And there were other people that were there because this is one of the destination points on all of the different boat rides that you take. So there's a lot of hawkers in town that are selling you boat rides and to take you to Monkey Beach to hang out on the beach or go snorkeling.
Right,
and we did it by ourselves on a kayak.
Yeah, you can go on a longboat to like 5 different locations for 1,500 baht, which is about $40, and a half of like 3 or 4 hours to go snorkeling. It reminds me a lot. So Phi Phi reminds me a lot of old school Mexican beaches when we were young, like Cozumel or Cancun or Cabo. Real old school, not over. I mean, it's touristy, but it's not overdeveloped. Things are not expensive. Things are really affordable. I mean, the kayak, comparatively, if you were to try to rent a kayak in Cabo now for 2 hours, it'd be $40 or $50. So it's just really. It's just real. I really feel like it's Mexico, but not with the attitude so much.
And that's just all around Thailand. Actually, I could say that Phi Phi Island is more expensive than other places that we've been in Thailand, because you're on a remote island, and they can charge a little more prices, but you're still paying considerably less for meals and for housing.
Right. So we paid 2,100 or 21,000 baht for 11 nights, which is about $60 a night for our room, which included breakfast. It has air conditioning and hot water, and it's a nice place.
Yeah,
and it's on the
nice
water.
place.
We have a water view. But then we also had to pay food. So in comparison to Khao Sok, it was about the same price per day, except in Phi Phi we had to pay for food in addition.
A little bit extra that we're paying for food and our entertainment and things like that.
Right.
Also, kind of like the vibe here on Phi Phi Island is a little bit different. It's not as chill as it was in Khao Sok in the fresh water in the mountains. There are a lot of people that have come here to party. It's definitely a busier town. There are people from all over the world here. Interestingly, how many people are here from places like Russia and
all over Europe.
That are here.
Canadians, Australians.
Yeah, and so it really is catering to the tourists and people that want all kinds of things. So if you want to go out partying at night, that's here for you. If you want to just take a leisurely, boat ride, that's here for you as well. All types of restaurants, all different kinds of food from around. We went to an Irish bar on St. Patrick's Day.
And then had Israeli food yesterday, so and Italian food the night before. So there were definitely different types of food available here as well. So, and then the amount of activities you can do, you can take these boat rides, you can also go scuba, you can go snorkeling, you can just go swimming, you can lay on the beach. There seems to be probably every other bar has evening music, guitar, single guitar, acoustic
live
guitar.
Music,
so we've done a lot of live
shows.
music. There's a couple fire shows. It feels very Hawaiian in some places where you've got the fire show going on, but it's not like touristy where you have to pay $60 to have some Hawaiian food and a fire show. You just
sit down,
get a dollar
local,
water and
local beer for $3 and watch the fire show for 2 hours.
Yeah, so it's definitely much more low key. So in comparison, let's tell you about what is similar and what is different between Khao Sok and Phi Phi. So what is similar? You got long rides to get there. They're very remote. You got a long boat ride. They are definitely tourist destination places. They're not some place you're going to go live or hang out for more than a week or so. The prices are a little bit higher than anywhere else in Thailand because they're catering to that tourist market, and the people are all basically the same people. I would say, though, that Khao Sok is for introverts and Phi Phi is for extroverts.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Khao Sok in the national park, you could go for like an entire day and not even talk to anybody else and just kind of chill out and zone out and be in your Zen world. But the beauty and the natural beauty is very comparable in the two places. The water and the limestone cliffs and it's just gorgeous in the sunshine. I'd say it's a little bit warmer here on Phi Phi Island. We're sweating, and up on in the national park it was a little bit cooler.
Yeah, because up in the mountains.
And also this is obviously we're in the ocean. The Andaman Sea is where we are now on Phi Phi Island. I'm going to be going scuba diving probably tomorrow or the next day. So we definitely have that opportunity to do that here, and snorkeling, which you can't do in the national park. It's fresh water. We did a little snorkeling, but you really can't see anything. There's some fish, but it's not like you wouldn't go there to go snorkel.
Right, but the similarities are you can kayak both places. We also want to add that. The differences it's really the difference between having an all-inclusive attached schedule of things that you have to do according to what you purchased versus do it at your own schedule and do as much or as little as you want in Phi Phi. So, but all the activities are very similar in that they're water-based activities and scenery, view shed activities, right? Yes. And the prices are Phi Phi was a little bit more expensive than Khao Sok, but they're basically the same price, give or take.
Right.
So if you had to choose, if you had 4 or 5 days, and you had to pick just one, either Khao Sok for 4 days or Phi Phi for 4 days, which one would you choose?
Well, I'm supposed to agree with you because you were supposed to say Khao Sok was the best and the place that you would go to. So I agree with you,
but the reason why I would go to Khao Sok, we didn't say that.
What?
The reason why I would go to Khao Sok is there's a lot of island vacations that are available out there. I mean, hundreds of island vacations available. There's only one freshwater national park that looks like Khao Sok.
And that's why you can stay in a bungalow on the water.
Yeah.
Incredibly unique, incredibly beautiful, and one of a kind kind of place.
And there's bungalows on water, but they're usually not freshwater. So,
yeah.
But you would pick Phi Phi, right?
So
why would you choose Phi Phi?
I mean, there's just a lot going on here. You really, everything you pass by, restaurants and massage places and tattoo parlors. I'm not going to get a tattoo.
Beachwear.
But yeah, all the different things that you can buy. There's just a fun vibe here. A lot of people, a lot of different variety of food that you can eat.
So the introvert in this relationship would go to the extrovert place, and the extrovert would go to the introvert place.
Well, okay, because we're going to go scuba diving tomorrow. That's why.
Well, there you go. Your new passion. You want to come here because of scuba diving. Anyway, we've had a fabulous time in Thailand. We're concluding our days here in Thailand in the next couple of days, and then we're headed somewhere else. We'll tell you then. Next week, we're going to do a roundup of all the things we loved about Thailand. So stay tuned, subscribe. You didn't tell them to subscribe. Subscribe again.
Please subscribe if you're still watching this video.
And we love you, and thanks so much for your support.